Okay, today, so we're going to take the beginner HTML, right? This HTML that we did with the CSS, right? And then we're going to add more CSS, okay? So let's first, right, we're going to open a new browser here. Brand new, okay? Brand new browser. And then we're going to go to our emblem of work and then HTML CSS tags, drag it in there. Okay, now what I want to do is add some CSS, right? So we'll go to, right, W3 CSS, right, and let's add some CSS. But remember, let's also use the Google Inspect. So this is going to be a CSS and Google Inspect lesson, right? So let's right click on here, inspect. Okay, and this should open in a second. There it is. Okay, took a second. So now what we want to do, press this arrow button, and then you could scroll over your HTML. And then, right, it'll show up on the bottom. So we'll scroll over, click on the arrow, scroll over H1 tag. Right, this is a header tag. And W3 always slows my screen down. So if we close it, things are going to go faster on here, as you can tell. Yeah, so you say it goes to H2. Right, then we click on H1. It goes to H1. Boom. And then we could adjust our CSS here. So let's do background, right? And then what you do is press H1. You go into click on element.style. Let's press background. It fills it out for you, but type it out, background. And then you could scroll down the colors here, right? Press the up and down arrow to scroll down the colors. And we want our background to be burlywood. Great. Right? Remember, when you refresh the screen, it's gone because you have to update it in your CSS here. So in our CSS, we're going to do background burlywood. Save it, right? And then, boom, right there. Now let's click on our H2 tag and add some styles. Right? Let's see what styles we could add. Just type in the letter B. We could do border. All right? Let's see what we could do with border here. Right? And border goes like this, right? You have to set the pixels. So 2px, solid, right? And then you see the border comes up here. And then let's say black or blue. And that's the border of the color. So 2px solid blue for the border. Okay. We can now do border radius, right? And then you could do press 1 pixel, okay? And then you see the radius of the border is circling out, right? Keep pressing the up arrow, down arrow, so you keep circling it out. So, remember, there are HTML elements that use pixels as dimensions, and I should do a video on that too. But you could find that out all here. Remember, like images, height and width, use the pixels, right? Now let's do height. Let's see what happens with height here, right? 1 pixel. And then you see that's the height of the border, right? And that's using pixels, right? Width, using, right? Type in 11px, pixels, right? And you see how this changes, right? So what I want you to do, is I want you to go to W3, right? And if we go here, let's go to tutorials, right? Learn CSS. If you just click on everything here, you'll see that there's, there will be stuff for height and width. Let's CSS height and width. I just want to find it within W3 by searching here because it's not. All right, so height, width. Oh, it is here. Height, width, and max width. It is here. Okay, that's my bad. Oh, height, width. There we go. Okay. Remember, this is a really slow website. CSS height, width. Okay. Right, and then these are all the different properties for height, width. Auto, length, defines the height, width in pixels, centimeters, right? cm, not centimeters, it's something else, but don't worry. Right, so now it's going to load, right? So height 200 pixels. You could set the width 50%, like meaning 50% of the page, or you could set 200 pixels, right? So we go back here on our browser tab. Let's X this out. Okay, and then we could set the width at 150 pixels, right? And you see it goes there, right? And you see we press the up arrow and it keeps going up. So what do we want you to do, right? We're using our Google Inspect. So remember, okay, so it says border 2px solid blue, border radius 19 pixels, height 59 pixels, width 203 pixels. Okay? Because remember, once I refresh the browser, this is going to be gone. So what we have to do is we're going to save it in our HTML file, and I'm gonna minimize the size of this screen, and then I'm going to add it to my H2. Right? So border 2px solid blue, border radius 19px, and you can find out what border radius is all from the W3 CSS. Right? That'll teach you everything. I still go back there for everything. Right? 203px. Now, once we refresh the browser, it's going to stay the same because we set it in our CSS on our page here, right? So remember, there's our HTML, right? Our HTML tags, and then this, all our HTML goes within our body tags. Then we set the style for the HTML within our style tag, and then referencing that HTML element in the style tag just like this, between the curly brackets and then the attributes that you want for your styling. Okay, and I'm gonna push this code to the internet, and then I'm gonna give you the link, and let me know when you have questions.